Hello friends, and boy oh boy do I have a treat for you today. As I have mentioned I think a couple times in my past videos, I am currently living with my mom. She moved to Montreal in the summer from Winnipeg and we're living together for a little while. When she moved here, she brought along a treasure trove of old Holly memorabilia. And along with the hilarious baby photos, which, according to her, I'm not allowed to make fun of because it's photos of her baby, even though it's me. She also brought a bunch of my writing. Now, I maintained a collection of my sketchbooks, which I keep in a trunk at the end of my bed, and maybe I'll share some of those at some point because that's a cringe fest too, especially if you look at the old comics that I used to make. Oof. But a lot of the writing came with her, and along with it came my very first novel. So today, along with my novel, I've got a drink because this is the first time I've read this in a decade. I already skimmed through a couple little parts of this to see if it was going to be entertaining enough, and my eyes started tearing up. It was so cringy. Do you know that feeling when you're reading something and you're just like, oh, the pain. It's just like it's a physical sensation. To give you a bit of backstory into me and into this book, I would work on this when I was at piano lessons, mostly. So I would be waiting for other people to finish their classes, and I would just be sitting on a couch writing this book. I started it July 4th, 1997, when I was 8, and I ended it November 11th, 1999, when I was, does that math make sense? When I was 9, apparently. I have two parents who are published artists and writers. Therefore, one of the best parts of any book or creation I did when I was younger is the fact that it's really trying to be professional. So with this book, we have Angel Books, which was my brand at the time, I suppose. And I have documented when I finished it, I said that it's both written and illustrated by me. I've got the title, The Kitten and the Fairy, and then the best part, I've added in special edition book, How to Draw Fairies and Cats Inside. So I was selling this. I was selling this 120-page Mead notebook that I wrote in and drew in. On the back, I also have another brand where I wrote Squeaks and Eeks, and I have a little drawing of a gerbil. I did try to see how successfully I could hold this up and actually show you the art. It didn't work, so I'm going to take some photos after and make sure that you can see this art that's in here. I also have a dedication to my lovely cats and dog and gerbil, Freya, Buzz, Wuffy, Sparky. And then I added, because this went on over a period of time, I had to add in, and my new cat Mouse, and Sophie, and Quentin. So I would add different animals as we got them because I didn't want to miss a dedication as I went. On the back, I also have one of my first poems that I wrote. While the book is called The Kitten and the Fairy, this poem was actually called Kitten and the Thread, but I changed it so that it would suit the book. And it goes, "The kitten and the fairy went out to play on a bright and sunny gloriose day. The kitten thought it grand to play, but the fairy just jumped and ran away." The imagery was kind of better with a thread because it's the cat thinking that thread is an actual creature and it's jumping and running away from it. Anyway, 7-year-old poetry. So let's get into the book. I figured I would go through maybe the first 10 pages, and if you enjoy this, then I can read some more. But impressively, this is a 120-page book that, spoilers, goes through this cat and this fairy's life all the way to their death. And on the final page, I've drawn them dead. Let's get into this. Monday, the birth of Asteroid. Spelled wrong. I was just saying to my mom earlier how it's not that bad and my spelling was actually quite good, but it's not. There are lots of errors in here that I'm seeing now. The birth of Asteroid. Asteroid's mother Venus and his father Polaris lived in a happy family with 3 children, Emily, Anna, and David, and their mother and father Sheila and Jack. But one day, Anna was playing with Venus and Venus suddenly ran away to her box. But Anna did not follow. You see, she had been taught to never follow her cat to her box because it could be something the cat had to do on her own. But suddenly, Venus ran to Anna and tugged on her skirt, so Anna had to come. When she got to the chewn-up brown box with the pink cushion in it, she couldn't believe her eyes. There, on the pink cushion, lay a single gray and white kitten. Now this was something she absolutely had to tell Sheila, Jack, David, and Emily. Emily and David had to clean up the clothes strewn around their bedrooms. They were the 2 youngest. David, said his mother, clean up your mess of orange peels on the kitchen floor. And you, Emily, clean up the crayons and coloring you left all over the dining room. Just then, Anna came... I added a little word in here. Anna came streaming in, yelling, "Venus and kittens!" She said this 10 times or more. Now, slow down, Anna, said her mother. Don't yell. Okay, said Anna, and a bit more quieter, she said, Venus had kittens, a red one like Polaris and a gray and white one like herself. Now let's go see these little sweeties, shall we? Said Sheila. Emily and David, come see the sweet little cutums. I don't know why I talked that way. I don't think I talked that way, like in day-to-day life or to anyone I knew. I don't think I've ever used that word. Aren't they adorable, said Anna. Yes, they are, said Emily and David. Huh, Emily, David, my little sugar plums, it's 9 o'clock, past your bedtime. You're supposed to be in bed by 7. Now hurry upstairs and brush your teeth. Now, Anna, let's go to the mall to get school clothes because it's your first day in grade 1 tomorrow. Your father will take care of the little ones. Now let's hurry, Anna. We'll have to squeeze a few more things in. 2 cat dishes, Mother wrote on her list. Now we're ready to go. Now, I was really obsessed with shopping scenes in my books, which is funny because I've never been someone who's actually into shopping, but I wanted to create all of the products. That was my reasoning for putting this in. Come on, Anna, my beautiful girl. Jack, we're leaving, so can you read David and Emily a story? It's Emily's turn to choose. Make sure they put their jamies on. I meant to say jammies, pajamas. And brush their teeth. Well, bye. Suddenly, we have to go out the door and shop. Now, at the store, they bought a dish for Asteroid and a dish for Robin. This is Asteroid's dish. And this is Robin's dish. And these are the 4 dresses Anna got, and shoes to go with them. One of my absolute favorite things that I discovered when I was flipping through this a little earlier is the fact that I have signed every single drawing that I did in this book. Not like at the bottom of the page. Every single little drawing that is included in the book, I have put my signature on it. That's where the copyright that I guess I just was learning about came into play. Because my parents would tell me, if you finish a drawing, if you finish a painting, you sign it, you know, claim ownership over it. And I think I was also learning about watermarking and things like that. So this was me ensuring that no one stole the art that was in this book. Chapter 2, A Problem Cat. Now this morning was odd to Asteroid and Robin because they had never seen such fuss. Now, this is David in his nursery clothes. Emily in her kindergarten clothes. And Anna in her clothes for grade 1. Really important that we get the fashion show in the midst of this story. But it couldn't be a perfect morning. Just then they heard a crash, and in a moment their mom's favorite vase was broken. In another second, their mom's glass with pink roses painted on it was broken. Sheila yelled and said, "That's it, you 2, into the bathroom with you." And in another second, they heard another clump and slamming of a door, and Asteroid and Robin were in the bathroom, and their mother came stomping down saying, "One day I'll get those 2, in brackets. But she really wouldn't because she loved them to death. She hugged them and kissed them about 20,000, 1,000, 100, 110, 10,000 times a day. So that was that. I think I was trying to write a whole number, but the way I spaced them out, it looked like 5 different numbers. Either way, way too much hugging and kissing, I think. A bit more than is healthy. Now, Robin and Asteroid aren't happy to be locked up on their play outside day. It's special because they usually have to play inside. Uh-oh, they just heard the door slam. That meant Anna had left to walk to school with... I don't know what name I was trying to say here. Siamese? It's funny because we've got cat names for humans and human names for cats. Siamese, I guess. With Siamese, she was Anna's best friend since nursery. They were real good friends. Now they were so happy to start another year together. It was going to be fun with Mrs. Twine. Robin and Asteroid just had to see what was going on, so they backed up real far from the door. Then they counted 3 meows and body-checked the shut door, which immediately flung open. Then they ran downstairs, knocking over a pile of books, a jar, and a wastebasket. Then they stopped at the door because of being picked up by the scruff and thrown back in the bathroom. Now Asteroid and Robin were steamed. But just as they were about to gnaw their way out, someone opened the door. It was Sheila. She said, "I'm sorry, my kittens. Come and let's have fun, dears." And she gave them a bit of triple-sliced cheese pizza. I don't know what's going on with this mother. "Now," said Robin, "run!" They ran down the stairs with their pizza in their mouth. They jumped out the door, ran around the block twice, howling, sat on the fence for an hour, howling, jumped down and ate some weeds, ran in for lunch and did it all over again, howling and yowling, and then had supper. They would always play after supper. Polaris always gave them kitty back rides and swung them back and forth from the little cat's ears. He taught them to whistle and taught them to color. Night had come. It was time for Polaris to read Hansel and Gretel to Asteroid and Robin. They were delighted with all the sweets from the witch's hut, and Polaris acted it out. He looked funny as the witch. I mean, he's a cat, so probably yeah. He asked Asteroid to come and be his witch's cat. And that's the end of the second chapter and the first 10 pages of the novel. I do have some even funnier writing from when I was younger, but this is pretty ridiculous. All that being said, I am impressed by my 7/8-year-old self. It was quite the endeavor to do an entire 120-page book. Pretty much every page is illustrated, and at one point I even put in a greeting card to be a physical wedding invitation in here. I think what I was really doing was trying to create a book that I would like to read. And a lot of little kids probably would like to read this kind of thing if it was executed a little better. That's it for Vlogmas Day 2. I had a really frustrating day. You know when you're right at the end of work and you're sort of gearing up to be finished and to get into your own projects, and then there's an email or something happens and someone's just kind of rude to you and it throws you off. I had this really rude email from someone who completely mistook what I was trying to say to them, and it was, I think, 10 minutes before I was getting ready to log out, and it just threw my brain off, and I had to sit down and try and collect myself after. I'm really weird when it comes to communications. I have to sit on it and make sure I say the exact right thing, and if I think something was off or if there's a grammatical error, then it's going to be eating away at me for days and days and days until something else comes up to take its place. So when something like that happens and I'm at work and it's a professional thing and I feel like I've already put that effort in and really took the time to be kind and reach out to this person, and they still misunderstand it and they're rude to me, it's just... Anyhow, after that, I decided I didn't want to do any other big, decorating or vlogging outside and just have some fun reading this old story. So I hope that you enjoyed it as well. As usual, like, subscribe, ring the bell button, and say hi in the comments below. I'll see you tomorrow for day 3 of Vlogmas. Bye!